How did you discover your stern first sergeant was secretly paying for soldiers' family emergencies? I found out completely by accident when I walked into the wrong office at 2 a.m. First Sergeant Mike Turner was the scariest NCO on base. 22 years in the Army, voiced like a chainsaw, could make grown men cry just by looking at them wrong. Nobody wanted to be called into his office. This guy wrote soldiers up for having wrinkled socks, made people do push-ups for breathing too loud during formations. We called him the Terminator behind his back because he showed zero emotion about anything. I was pulling night shift at the company headquarters, answering phones and monitoring radios. Around 2 a.m., I needed to grab some forms from the supply office next to Turner's room. Exhausted from 18 hours of duty, I pushed open what I thought was the right door. Instead, I walked straight into Turner's office. He was sitting at his desk with his laptop open, credit card in hand, talking quietly on his phone. I should have backed out immediately, but what I heard froze me in place. Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Tell them $200 to cover the funeral expenses. The payment should go through tonight. Please give Mrs. Davis my condolences. He hung up, started typing something into his computer. That's when he noticed me standing in his doorway like an idiot. His face went stone cold. What the hell are you doing in my office, Private? I stammered an apology about the wrong door, but he was already closing his laptop. Get out, now. We never speak about this, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. Mrs. Davis was Private Danny Davis's mother. Danny had gotten emergency leave 2 weeks ago when his dad died suddenly. Family couldn't afford the funeral costs. Next day, I overheard Turner on another phone call. This time, he was talking to someone about covering a soldier's wife's medical bills. $800 for emergency room treatment. Same credit card, same quiet voice. I started paying closer attention. Every few days, Turner would have these hushed phone conversations, always late at night or early morning when he thought nobody was listening, always involving money and soldiers' families. Private Lisa's baby needed special formula that insurance wouldn't cover. $300 mysteriously appeared in her account from an anonymous donor. Specialist Ben's apartment caught fire, lost everything. Somehow furniture and clothes showed up at his new place, paid for by someone who wouldn't give their name. The pattern was obvious once you knew what to look for. Turner was secretly funding family emergencies for half the company, using his own money, his own credit cards, his own time to research and coordinate help. But during duty hours, he was still the Terminator, still writing people up for minor infractions, still making soldiers do push-ups for stupid mistakes. The contrast was mind-blowing. 3 months later, Turner's secret almost got exposed. Our company commander was reviewing monthly finances when he noticed unusual patterns in soldiers' emergency leave requests. Too many families suddenly able to handle crisis situations they couldn't afford. He started asking questions. Turner deflected, changed subjects, made excuses, but Captain Williams was persistent. Something wasn't adding up. That's when Private Danny stood up during a company formation. Sir, I'd like to say something about First Sergeant Turner. Everyone went silent. This could only end badly. When my father died, my family had nothing. No insurance, no savings, barely enough for groceries. We were going to bury him in a cardboard box from the county morgue. Turner didn't just give us money for a proper funeral. He helped my mom contact veteran services, arranged for military honors, even drove 4 hours to attend the service personally. Other soldiers started speaking up. Stories of rent payments, medical bills, car repairs, groceries, school supplies for kids. Turner had been quietly supporting dozens of families for years. The captain just stared at Turner, who was standing at attention looking mortified that his secret was out. How much of your own money have you spent on this, First Sergeant? Turner's jaw tightened. That's not relevant, sir. It absolutely is relevant. Give me a number. Long pause. Maybe $30,000 over the past 3 years, sir. The entire company gasped. Turner made maybe $50,000 annually. He'd been spending more than half his salary helping soldiers' families. 6 months later, the Army created an official emergency assistance program based entirely on Turner's informal system. They made him the first director, promoted him to sergeant major, gave him a budget of $500,000 annually to help military families in crisis. Last month, I received a wedding invitation. Turner was getting married to a woman he'd met at that funeral he'd helped pay for. Danny's mother had introduced them. The ceremony was at the base chapel, reception in the community center. Every soldier he'd ever helped showed up. The gift table was so full they had to use 3 extra rooms. Turner stood there in his dress blues, crying openly as soldier after soldier thanked him for saving their families. His new wife pulled me aside during the reception. Mike still tries to pay for everything himself. I had to hide his credit cards to stop him from covering the catering costs tonight.